guys, welcome to the Shit Show with Danielle. Today we're going to be talking about a term, patriotic correctness. So what is the Shit Show? I'm here to call out and parse the bullshit that our media overlords and spin doctors feed to us. So as I said on yesterday's segment on mainstream media, today I'm going to be doing a segment on patriotic correctness in anticipation of tomorrow's segment on political correctness. Ooh, one of our favorites. Anyways, humans hate to be wrong. We like to be right. We like to be correct. So when someone else tells us how to walk, talk, speak, or think, our first impulse is to tell them how to walk, talk, speak, and think. So while I'll get to political correctness tomorrow, tonight I wanted to focus on this term that Alex Naraste, a fellow at the Libertarian Cato Institute, wrote in the Washington Post just a few days ago. He talked about patriotic correctness, a kind of code to regulate speech, behavior, and opinions that's just as stifling and affronting to your First Amendment rights as political correctness is. Patriotic correctness can feel like fascism to the left. You can't insult the leader unless he's Obama. You can't protest election results. You can't support flag burning because that would offend the troops, many of whom would tell you that they actually fought for that right for you to do that. These are people who wanted to rechange the name of French fries to freedom fries when the French opposed invading Iraq. These are the people who want to put "In God We Trust" back on everything in a country that has a clear clause for separation of church and state. And trust me, I'm a religious person. I'm not offended by God by any stretch of the imagination. These are people who don't want Beyonce at the CMAs and want to tell the Dixie Chicks that they aren't country enough because they don't support the war. And heaven forbid if you critique the police. It's the Tomi Lahrens of the world who love to use the First Amendment to criticize the Colin Kaepernicks of the world for sitting out the national anthem to protest police brutality. You would think that they killed her dog. It wasn't someone who just sat out a song. You see, people who want patriotic correctness also want to carve out their own safe spaces. After the articles came out after the election that Trump voters were fearing for their lives after hearing about these angry protesters and amped up reports, protesters who were somehow massively unemployed and frustrated. If you look at the numbers, though, I'm telling you, it isn't the Trump voter who is getting beat up for how they dress. Even though they won the election, many Trump voters also want to find a safe space on campus that they've explicitly asked for. I can't tell you how many conservatives bash liberal campuses in the name of free speech, and I won't deny the liberal bias on many college campuses in New England. However, don't these people have bigger fish to fry than worrying about the intellectual and political maturation of a Harvard freshman who will soon get out of Harvard and realize what the real world's about anyway? They run in circles on the Hill, Town Hall, Breitbart, wanting to be coddled by a weepy Alex Jones, an entertainer of patriots who many have come to think is some kind of patriotic soothsayer, just as if the left might be nestled in their own Daily Kos or Raw Story articles. PC used to be a joke amongst the liberals who got too big for their britches and ahead of themselves on rechanging the rhetoric around leftism. But patriotic correctness seems to be for sensitive conservatives who just want to snuff out pluralism in their own way. Regardless, before you get huffy about how the left polices you, you might want to think if you're doing that to them yourself. Think about the fact that you might be going against that First Amendment in the Constitution, you constitutional pluralist you, purist you, excuse me. You might have your own PC problem. Anyways, tomorrow we're going to be watching The Shit Show again, hopefully, where I'll be breaking down political correctness. Should be interesting. Have a good night.